Good afternoon, everybody. And it's lovely to see you again. We're very, very sorry for the technical problem of a few days ago. So let's start immediately with this wonderful time that we're going to be spending together. And I really want to say once again, good afternoon, and thank you for having come to this streaming event. This is a new beginning, and above all, we want to share a vision with you. The title, and then we went out to see the stars. Obviously, it's not only a tribute to the beauty of the poetry, it's an invitation. This line is the last of Hell, the first canticle of the Divine Comedy by Dante. Dante wrote it after having crossed the darkest of darknesses, side by side with Virgil, his guide. It's the time when, after having emerged from the abysses of hell, they finally see the star-studded sky. But that star-studded sky is not only a relief for the eyes, those stars represent much more. They represent hope, knowledge, and guidance. It was the stars that guided Dante and Virgil with him through a difficult journey, but one that was necessary, so that they could once again see, understand, and choose. And we have been inspired by this line of poetry for exactly this reason. We too have traveled down a road that had certain limitations. We have learnt, we have stopped to listen, and we have transformed words into facts. And today we are ready. We are ready to build up a future, not only of a product, but of relations, of business, of common objectives. Because every lens, every piece of advice, every client is a small star that we can help shine. This journey is dedicated to Upside. When we introduced Upside for the first time, as with all beginnings, it had some limits. Distribution was contained, out of choice. The parameters were not for everybody, and the support that we could give was also limited. But that first step was invaluable. It helped us to observe, listen, and really understand the needs of the market and professionals like yourselves. Present that has been completely transformed. A new plant in Malaysia, dedicated exclusively to daily lenses. And this will help us to guarantee a production that is stable, scalable, and reliable. The parameters today meet a much wider range of needs, with designs conceived for the needs of all your lens wearers. And above all, innovation has never stopped. On the contrary, it has become our daily way of working. This is not only a change of scale, it is the concrete sign that we are ready. Upside, therefore, is certainly a design that is unique, a revolutionary technology, and it meets the well-being of your lens wearer's eyes, and it also is part of our commitment to sustainability and environmental responsibility. Upside goes beyond the simple product. Upside is Japanese craftsmanship in the most authentic meaning of the word. It means accuracy, precision, respect for details, and the culture of doing things well. Upside is also technology, advanced technology, the technology that is not seen but is felt every day in terms of comfort, performance, and reliability. It is the result of a culture that puts the person and their visual experience at the center. Every aspect of Upside comes into being with a precise purpose to offer real and concrete benefits every day. Upside is also a declaration of ambition. We want to grow this category. We want to make it evolve, because every client who chooses a daily lens is not choosing only a lens. They're choosing simplicity, safety, and quality of life. And we want to be close to you to have more satisfied clients, more trust, and more future. So let's look at what we'll be seeing in the next slides. First of all, we'll be getting to know the features of Upside with Fabio Carta, and I'd like to ask him to join me here. As long as the uniqueness and characteristics of this product, we will then present a complete program of instruments, of services at your disposal and at the disposal of the point of sale and your clients. And then we'll be showing you a journey which has all this flavor and scent of Japan. I'm particularly pleased to have the opportunity to guide you through the various technologies of this innovative product. Even though Upside is not only a simple contact lens, there are different innovations, different uniquenesses that are not only part of this product. But let's proceed. First of all, the production of Upside and its innovative technologies, so Smart Touch, are made in Japan with love from Japan, because inside the blister there is a reference to love with a heart. And this is a reference to the passion with which Japanese culture makes this product, which, as Sabrina said, meets the needs. When we talk about Smart Touch, we are talking about an innovative technology with multiple functions and benefits for the lens wearer. What we know for certainty is that 94% of contact lens wearers find it easy to remove the lens from the blister. 91% of the lens wearers deem this Smart Touch technology and agree on the fact that finding the lens always in the right position with the outer surface upwards is definitely a benefit that not only reduces the time of application, but makes it much easier to handle the lenses and guarantees greater hygiene. To understand a little better what the Smart Touch technology is, here you can see two drawings which show the difference between a traditional blister, where the contact lens, where the inner surface is up in the upward direction, and in the Smart Touch, the contact lens is always in the correct position with the outer surface facing upwards. Why is this useful? Not only for ease of handling and inserting the lens, but also reducing to a minimum the contact between fingers and the internal surface, which is what comes into contact with the eyes. Now I'll show you a nice video which explains more clearly what I've just said. You've just seen the video, and I've brought with me a sample, a reproduction of the blister so that you can understand more easily how the contact lens wearer will always find the lens in the same position. So once we open the blister, there is the contact lens with the outer surface facing upwards, upside. And so the consumer only has to take the contact lens and insert it in their eye. This allows application time to be reduced. It's much easier to handle the contact lens, and at the same time, we have the great advantage of reducing, as far as possible, contamination from bacteria or the contact between the fingers and the inner surface of the lens. And you can see in this slide how in traditional blisters, we have a percentage of on average, 36%, where the surface is without contamination, whereas in the Smart Touch, we have a much higher percentage. 64% of the surface of the lens is without contamination. And so this is more hygienic, faster and simpler. You know that comfort and handling are two of the main obstacles for new contact lens wearers. So let's now go into the details of the contact lenses, and I'll talk to you about the technologies of Upside. Many Silk Air is the technology with which the R&D department in Japan made the material Midafilcon A. This is the material in hydrogel, silicone hydrogel, new generation. And what are the benefits or characteristics of Many Silk Air? The first is high transmissibility of oxygen, and at the same time, it keeps a great balance between the softness and the elasticity coefficient of the lens and the passage of the oxygen, which, as you know very well, very often is like a blanket being pulled to one side and leaving the other side uncovered. So there's a good balance between the passage of oxygen and the comfort of the contact lens. And at the same time, we also have a good balance of hydration, which plays a fundamental role in comfort during wear. So transmissibility of oxygen, as you can see from this diagram, obviously, it guarantees a much higher oxygenation than the lens in material without silicone. And they exceed the minimum values required to guarantee the correct oxygenation and the correct eye health of the cornea metabolism. Talking about health again, I'd like to remind you that it has a class 2 UV filter for protection from ultraviolet rays. UVA and UVB are controlled at 84 and 96% by this class 2 filter. So going back to the concept of Many Silk and this technology, we know that Many Silk makes this contact lens extremely oxygenated, so it guarantees a high passage of oxygen for the correct metabolism of the cornea, and at the same time, it has a fundamental characteristic, which, as I said earlier, has a much lower elastic modulus than others on the market. It has only 0.36 of elastic modulus, guaranteeing great comfort. So exceptional softness for exceptional comfort. The third technology I'll be talking to you about today, after Smart Touch and the Blister technology and Many Silk Air, regarding comfort and oxygen transmissibility, and so eye health, I'll now introduce NanoGloss Pro, which is another technology which has been developed by the R&D department, and it refers to how the external surface of the contact lens is processed with nanometric precision. What does this mean? It means that I obtain two great advantages. It lowers the friction coefficient, so it has an extremely smooth surface for very low friction. Now I'll show the numbers we're talking about. At the same time, with a very smooth surface, the lens is very wettable and guarantees resistance, and various studies have shown this resistance to protein deposits on the surface, as you can see from this animation. So the surface is extremely smooth, guaranteed by this technology, which I repeat is called NanoGloss Pro, referring to the accuracy with which this surface is crafted. So the friction coefficient is very important because it plays an essential role in comfort during daily wear. As you can see, the friction coefficient of upside is really low. We're talking about 0.023, which makes for a very comfortable lens. Speaking still of comfort, we know very well that the edge of the lens is a fundamental aspect which guarantees comfort for all the time the lens is being worn. We have innovated in the process here with a contact lens that has the same thickness at the edge, whatever the power of the lens. So regardless of the metropy of our contact lens wearer, the edge always has the same constant thickness. This edge is not rounded, but tries to meet the anatomical conformation of the eyelids and dilation during wear. So, summing up the characteristics of Miro Upside, the technologies I've talked about, such as Smart Touch, Many-Sil Care and NanoGloss Pro, and the edge, 85% of contact lens wearers that we tested at optical centers said that the comfort of Miro Upside was excellent. So, thanks to this highly wettable surface, a very soft contact lenses and great transmissibility of oxygen and nanometric processing, we could satisfy the main needs of our contact lens wearers because we want to satisfy their needs. Now let's go on to the toric version of Upside, which is present throughout the family. The technology on the toric version is called Visio Stable Design. So it's a design that guarantees a stability because you know very well that astigmatic metropy, when contact lenses are used, needs a stability of the lens to maintain good visual performance. I'll show you what this technology consists of. It's a sort of ballast, as you can see in the lower part of the lens, where we have there's not a real prisma balanced, but these areas are thicker in the lower part, whereas we have made the upper part thinner, the part which goes into contact with the upper eyelid, and we have reduced the thickness of the central part of the lower part, so at 6 o'clock. So here are some animations that show how the lens behaves with natural blinking of the lids. I was forgetting that the notch of reference is at 6 o'clock, as you can see from the image. For the calculus of the lens, we suggest using the calculator, which you can find easily on the site toric.meniconcalculator.com. But now let's have a look at these two simple animations of our contact lens wearer who is looking at Mount Fuji to remain in Japan, and the movement of blinking when because there is not only a vertical movement, but a muscular movement towards the nose. So following this movement and this natural blinking, the upper part of the lens has been made thinner and the lower part as well, keeping these two areas of thickness to guarantee stability when there is blinking. But if the lens were applied incorrectly, so upside down, how long does it take for the lens to get back into its correct position? It takes only a few seconds. After a few blinks, 3 or 4 blinks, to get the lens back in its correct position to guarantee the visual stability the patient needs. And so this further technology for the toric version, which is called Vision Stable Design. And I promise you that now this is the last part, which is linked to multifocals. So we have the multifocal version, which I am wearing at the moment, and perhaps I'll explain a little the case to show how to use the fitting guide. The multifocal version is a version which has 2 additions, a low and a high one, and a near center, easy to handle, because again, we have the smart touch technology. And for those who, as you know, young presbyopes have difficulty when they're beginning to wear adult contact lenses as adults, in this case, thanks to the smart touch technology, we have a very high percentage of success linked probably to the ease of handling. So we can say that 95% of presbyope wearers have success on first application, and we reach 100% on second application, taking the usual precautions. Let me show you the advantages. I showed you before the advantage of smart touch, and here we did a survey, and as you can see, 78% of lens wearers report having worn them the wrong side round, and 91% with smart touch technology agree on the fact that having the lens positioned in the right direction is an advantage. The technology for the multifocal version is called Design Neuroadaptive. This design, as I said earlier, is in 2 versions with 2 different ads, a low one and a high one, with a near center and an intermediate area, which allows the passage from near and distant to be less traumatic. This is the fitting guide, but here again, I won't dwell on the various steps that you can easily find on the official Menicon website with the calculator, but simply I'll explain that for low ads between 0.75 and 25, we always start with 2 low ads. Between 150 and 175, we suggest adding a plus 25 slash 0.25 positive on distance. And then obviously we'll make the necessary refinements, take into consideration the dominant eye. And so we'll reduce the positive value in steps of 0.25 in the dominant eye, or if we have to improve near vision, we will increase by steps of 0.25 in the non-dominant eye. for high ads, whereas we suggest starting with 2 high ads. And in this case, again, we'll do the refinements if we have to reduce the dominant eye, or as I said earlier, if we have to improve near vision, we'll increase by 0.25 positive in the non-dominant eye. I have a prescription of 0.75. I started with 2 lenses of plus 75 with a low ad, but I realized that my near vision was not satisfactory, so I changed, and now the lenses I'm wearing at the moment are +1 with low ads. So I am in the intermediate area in the second part. The dominant eye, obviously, is the sensor eye, and the calculation is made at the vertex. And so I advise you to use the calculator, which is available free of charge on the Menicon site. These are the characteristics of the upside family. So the name of the material is Midafilcon A, 56% water content, class 2 UV filter, oxygen transmissibility is 91 by 10 to the power of 9, elastic modulus 0.36, so very low, and the center at the thickness is 0.7 or 0.08. And then we have the whole range of parameters with a base curve of 8.4 and a diameter of 14.2. I hope I've said everything. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. In any case, for any explanation or clarification, there will be the Menicon sales organization, which is available to satisfy your curiosities. So summing up again, the main characteristics is the first daily silicone hydrogel daily lens. It's the softest in the world because it has a very low elastic modulus, guaranteeing excellent comfort with this unique smart touch technology, which improves handling and reduces bacterial contamination. So it's more hygienic and easier to apply. Twice as fast to apply as contact lenses in traditional blisters. So safe and easy application. And we've seen both on multifocal and toric versions, it guarantees excellent vision. At this point, the floor is back to Sabrina, who will illustrate the new marketing campaign. Thank you, Fabio. And thank you for having been able to concretely illustrate why Upside is not only a lens. It's not a simple material, a daily lens, but it's the only lens in silicone hydrogel which has thought first of the blister for simplicity to apply, safety, and greater hygiene. If you have any questions for Fabio, please write them in the chat. And at the end, we'll be able to be very pleased to answer all your questions. Upside is a vision which brings with it a complete plan, which aims to be a support for you and your clients, and it is a plan which is full of instruments for your business. We've thought of 6 pillars. The first is a kit of material for your store. Communication is extremely important. So from the store, we go to the world of social networks, your social networks, because it's very important to communicate to the clients what's going on in your stores. The third pillar is a gesture that rewards loyalty. The fourth and fifth pillars are dedicated to training. Training is in our DNA. And so you will find a complete plan for you and your staff so that you can propose very effectively the use of contact lenses in general and Upside in particular. And lastly, the sixth pillar is devoted to the promotional and commercial plan. So let's look at the first element you have at your disposal, material for your stall. Informative material for you and your clients, because it's important to know and to be able to communicate the advantages and benefits. A second element is a counter display with leaflets, because communication must be part of the process between you and your clients. Then you will have a fitting set to simplify trying the contact lenses with your clients, and a blister, a special blister. You saw it with Fabio. It's a giant blister because it will let you very simply and quickly transfer the unique advantages of smart touch technology. And then lastly, another piece of material. It's a very large package of upside, because it's important to show whether in the window or inside the store. Let's now go on to the second pillar, again dedicated to communication. From physical communication, let's go on to digital communication. In this plan, we have decided to include content that is ready for you to use on your social channels, dedicated to the whole of the Manicon family, so that you can communicate with an increasingly large number of consumers and suggest the most suitable solution for them. The third pillar is a way for us to thank you, surprise you, and also create an experience that goes beyond sight, because those who choose everyday comfort, quality, and attention also deserve the opportunity for something unique. From the 1st of April to the 31st of March next year, registering you on the landing page, you will have the chance to take part in this draw, Win with Miru, which offers you the possibility purchasing products from the entire Upside family, the flat pack, and Miru. So purchasing the whole Miru range or part of it, you can take part in the draw of 3, let me say, extraordinary prizes. The first is a journey for 2 people to Japan for unique emotions. The second prize is a long weekend, again for 2 people, in a European capital of your choice. And the third prize is an electric bicycle. Win with Miru is our way of saying thank you to you for this relationship that we really want to create with you. For the details of the contest, you can find them in the reserved area on our website, maniconsolicon.it, or contact your area manager or contact customer service. This contest will be available from the end of next week. Let's look at training now. As I said, training is in our DNA, and so it is a very important pillar to talk about benefits and engage clients. In this plan, you will find many opportunities dedicated to the growth of your professionalism. I hope that many of you have already attended our webinars. We have a very rich program of webinars which are diversified. You will find a basic level, expert level, and what we call the tricks of the trade. Another extremely important time for training is experience, when experts talk about their experiences with specific topics and topical subjects. So the possibility to discuss with experts for suggestions or simply for an exchange of ideas and opinions, so that we're more effective in our daily work. The third point is in-store training. You can, thanks to a professional of Manicon Soleco, to have training in your store, or in collaboration with the Manicon Soleco professional, a seminar dedicated to a specific subject. Another point, so from online activities, let's go on to the in-presence courses. And this is called Super 80. It's a day of formation, wholly dedicated to contact lenses. But Super 80 means that 80% is practical. It's important for us, and we will dedicate great time to the practical and concrete aspect to really understand how to successfully apply contact lenses. And the last pillar is Icon. And for more than a year and a half, we have been offering experiences and interviews, all with the common thread of contact lenses and vulgarizing the use of contact lenses successfully. So this training has been conceived for you, and we have also decided to include a plan for your staff, who are the first people clients meet. So it's essential that they are able to suggest, inform, and transfer the benefits of contact lenses simply and professionally. And so we have thought of this on-demand formation, which is for your staff 7 days out of 7, 24 hours a day. And we've called them clips. They last 5 to 7 minutes, and your staff at any time of the day, even when they're in the subway or having a coffee, they can listen to a dedicated formation on Upside, which will allow them to communicate effectively the benefits of Upside to all your clients. We are now at the last pillar, promotions, the commercial supports for Upside. And I won't dwell on this topic because you can contact your area contact or call the customer service to know the details of the commercial plan for Upside. We're almost at the end. Don't leave us just yet, because there are just some more interesting things. These are the 6 pillars we've told you about: communication in store, communication on the social networks, the contest, the training, and the commercial plan. So it's a exhaustive plan to help you in promoting Upside. So Upside is our new star that we've celebrated. And Upside joins the firmament of Menicon Soleco products. There are many products. We have, for example, daily lenses, a flat pack with extremely unique and innovative packaging, and monthly lenses, which are available in spherical, toric, and multifocal toric versions, or the MTO lenses, when the standard lenses are not sufficient to manage corrective and visual needs, even with special parameters. And our portfolio of solutions for maintenance, whether it's Soleco or Menicon brand, and I cannot fail to mention 2 other important pillars in our portfolio of products: Bloom, our complete system for myopia, and you have it in 2 versions, and Ortho K lens and in the daily lens. Because at Menicon, for us, it's important to meet your choices of application. The last group of products are the products for maintenance. These are just as important, both in the Menicon and Soleco brands: saline solutions, artificial tears, everything for the maintenance of lenses. So all that I can say is welcome to Upside. And I'd like to ask Fabio to join me again, because it's time for your questions. And if on the technical side they can help us and send us the questions, what do you say? We'll answer your questions. Just a second more, please. Hoping that there aren't any technical problems. Here they are. Here are your questions. Let me ask you one, Fabio. There are a lot about the blister. Is the special blister also present in your daily or monthly lenses? I suppose you're referring to the Smart Touch. The Smart Touch is present in the daily lenses, but not the monthly ones for the moment. So both upside and flat back. Another question for you. Why did you say that the lens is in the right direction? Because as its name says, upside, the consumer will always find the contact lens with the outer surface facing upwards. Is the multifocal lens already available? Yes, I presented the whole family, multifocal, toric, and spherical, to meet all the needs of our consumers. Now, let you ask me a question. I am not one of your clients, but can I take part in the competition? Yes. As you know, we've decided to have this streaming to inform the market. So all the professionals on the market who want to join this new world of upside and see this new star can, of course, take part in the contest. Obviously, to be able to take part in the competition, as it's based on the purchase of a product, we simply have to open the procedure of coding, but absolutely yes. Another question? Is the in-store material available? Absolutely yes. The material is available. You can ask for it directly at info@soleco.it. Use any system. The material is ready for you, for your clients. È solo un momento estetico o anche un elemento estetico, grazie, o anche un impatto funzionale sulla manipolazione? So here's your question. The heart-shaped blister is only an aesthetic element, or does it also have a functional impact on handling? The heart is there because it refers to the passion with which in Japan they've made this innovative blister, but it could have been of any other shape, but it allows the lens to remain in that position so that the consumer can always find it with the outer surface upwards. I'll answer the sixth question as well. Is a trial version or starter kit available for the first fitting? Yes, because part of the material that we've designed for the store is the starter kit. So yes, it's available. What are the concrete advantages of the material compared to other silicone hydrogels? I've spoken about this when I was illustrating the various characteristics, but what differentiates our silicone hydrogel is the name of upside. It has the particularity of having a processing of the outer surface with a nanometric accuracy, which guarantees a greater resistance to deposits of various types, and at the same time, a friction coefficient which is definitely lower compared to other contact lenses on the market, as well as, obviously, the elastic modulus, which is the lowest of all silicone hydrogel daily lenses on the market. Let's see if any other questions arrive. Yes, there's another one. More than a question, it's a consideration. A great event, and especially event is excellent at the supports proposed. Is this your new direction? Thank you very much. There's somebody else saying it was a good event. Thank you. But I also have to say thank you for your patience, because this is our second live as we had some technical problems. But yes, I want to say this is our new standard, not only for the materials proposed, but to be with you and for you in your business, in offering you products of quality, support, services. And so I think I can say, technology apart, that this is our new direction. So, Fabio, we've reached the end of this journey. And before saying goodbye, please allow me to share with you some sequences of images. Are you with us? We hope so, don't we? And we hope that there will be very many of you. Before saying goodbye, I'd like to ask you to scan the QR code and fill in the satisfaction questionnaire, because for us, the opinion of each one of you counts, because it is also thanks to your suggestions that we can grow. And so thank you for your suggestions. Thank you for having been here with us. Thank you from me and from Fabio. And we say goodbye. And let me say once again, thank you for having come to look at the stars with us. Thank you so much.